Also, wearing like the low-rise jeans, and even though you feel so far away from it, trying to also be it, then feeling bad that you're not really pulling it off, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've come so far with jeans.
They're trying to bring us back.
No,
there.
we can't.
I know, the low rise. I saw that. We're not going back. I'm not going back. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back.
It's almost summer?
It almost is summer.
Did I jump the gun? I don't think it is.
Wait, hold on.
We're like 4 weeks away
Damn
from
it,
summer.
we always do
June
this.
21st.
Oh, it's June. Yeah, now you're fucking me up.
Guys, it's almost cancer season. It's almost time to talk about cancer season for a month and a half.
Well, we tried to get a week off and not do an episode the week of my birthday.
Were we told
Can't
no?
take a week off.
Told no?
Never took a week off in 3.5 years. I asked if we could take a week off. No.
Find me one person that hasn't taken a week off in 3.5 years.
Find me one.
Find me one.
Is there one?
No.
Maybe like
Even
Joe
the
Rogan.
president of the United States is like, we're in recess. Joe Rogan.
Recess.
Even Congress doesn't have to work like 90% of the year. You know where I have been before, and I went back again today. I got re-sugared.
Oh my God.
And I will make this very
Huge
quick,
news.
but I just want you guys to know, because we've been talking about my vagina, Ashley's vagina for years, and you guys know that I only shave, I never wax, and Ashley convinced me to go get sugared. The first time was so bad, it was excruciating. The second time today, 4 minutes in and out, so quick, so bad. And you said it would be a lot easier. And so
you had been shaving. Yeah, that's what makes it so bad.
Oh, that is why?
The first time, if you've always shaved your whole life, that first time is going to be like brutal.
It was excruciating. So I just want to say thank you for encouraging me to do it. It was so great. They were wonderful. This girl just like, I was like, this is my first time, I'm really nervous. And she was like, okay. Like she just wasn't having it today.
I'm sorry. Can we just talk about Raina's pussy glow up? IUD. Now she's sugaring. IUD. Fully vaxxed. Like, girl.
New eyebrows. I am under construction. I'm going to LA in 2 days. I've been having like a great time. You and I were in Florida together. We both went home to see our families this week. You went to Delaware. I went to Pittsburgh. We're both going to LA. I feel very positive. I feel excited about the world and what's coming up.
We are going to LA. This week, if you're listening, we'll be there. We are recording with someone so huge. The interview will be out in a couple weeks, but when I say top guest, like top, what's the word I'm looking for? Dream guest. Okay, that's a tough one. Dream. Like when people say like, who's your dream guest? Like this was mine. So this week is just so major. I wasn't even planning to go to LA till right before the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, but I'm going early because we are recording with this person and you guys will get all the juicy details coming soon. But yeah, I'm so excited. We'll be there together. We're overlapping a little bit. You're going to be staying with your man. We'll be in a hotel a few nights. You can't be out here.
I got a hotel for 5 nights.
5?
Well, because I'm going out there for 11 nights. And I just
are you?
Like, that is a lot of time to spend with literally anybody.
With your husband.
Yeah. Like,
it's too extra.
In their home in a city that like I don't live in, that I don't spend a lot of time in. Like Chicago is the second home to me. Miami's the second home to us. LA is not like my second home. I don't know LA. Yeah. So like it's a lot of time. So I got a hotel for 5 nights. We'll see. I mean, he'll stay with me there.
Does he have a
home?
No, go ahead. Does he wear shoes? Does he have a home? Does he have just one bathroom in his place?
He has 2 bathrooms in his place.
He does?
And girl, he was married before. So I've been saying, get yourself a divorced man. Someone else trained that man on how to have a clean kitchen, clean bathroom, the cleanest bathroom I've ever seen.
2 bathrooms.
2 bathrooms.
Say no more.
Shitting all over the apartment. Different bathrooms.
Raina's going to come in. She's going to have her suitcase and her carry-on and then her little bottle of poopery.
Yeah. I only shit in the shower. But yeah, listen, it's a I'm lucky that I worked my whole life. I have the money. If I want to go stay in a hotel for a few days, I'll see how I feel. But yeah, it's a lot of fucking days. Like, you're my best friend. I don't want to stay with you for 12 days. That would be terrible.
We've definitely been together for 12 days, but not in the same like confined space.
The longest you and I have been together was Australia.
Yeah.
We had a fight at the bathing suit store. I was clutching this bathing suit, yelling at Ashley, and Meryl just ran away.
That was a lot. I feel like everybody that heard that baby, and then I feel like you were like, I need to make up for this. And you just dropped like 2 G's, but I had to pay for it because you didn't have your card. I'm like, this is how you know you're married.
We did have a fight and you bought me my bathing suits.
You bought 6 designer suits. I was like, damn, you felt bad about the fight.
Really bad. I felt really embarrassed. But anyways, I'm in a great mood. I feel really excited about this really wonderful stuff coming up. You decided to go home to see your family, and so I decided I was going to do the exact same thing. Ashley and I take trips at the same time always.
We do. It really worked out for the best. I had the best weekend. I brought Azul home. He was on my parents' farm, and then we went to Dewey Beach. So he got to run around on the farm and the beach and just had the best weekend of his life. He got along with all the other dogs, all of their cats. You know, actually, if you are curious, I got a lot of DMs about this. Not a lot, like 5. If he got along with the cats, because that was an issue with Dewey. We had to keep them separated. We had to build a structure to keep them separated. It was a huge ordeal. And he's great. I had already cat tested him. He stayed with a sitter a couple weeks ago. She has a cat. So I already knew. But, you know, my parents have 4 indoor, and he was wonderful. He's just such an angel. I mean, he's like not real. Like I'm not trying to be like too woo woo with this. I swear to God, like Dewey sent me an angel from heaven. I'm not kidding you. Dewey was like, I'm going to just give her a perfect dog. You seem like a great fit.
You guys are such a dog and animal family too. So like you need somebody that like fits in with the fam.
I know. Everything was just perfect. It was like a perfect weekend. Had a great dinner. Went to the Starboard, did Starboard brunch, the whole thing. Everything's going to start to feel back to normal. A lot of you guys asked me for Dewey Beach recommendations. Guys, you'll get there. You'll figure it out.
There's only one street.
There's like 5 things to do. I'm not trying to be a dick, but like people don't know that. And like you go and you will, it's small. Rehoboth is the neighboring town. Lots of fun stuff there, shopping, restaurants and stuff. But Dewey, you'll get there and you'll see it. And you know when you see it. And if not, ask someone in the street, but like go to Starboard, Go to Starboard.
Go
to Woody's.
Get the grottos and a pasta salad and pizza.
Yeah.
Live music. Tons of live music.
There's a place called North Beach. My brother has the best metaphor. He said, Dewey is the U.S., North Beach is Florida. And that's all you need to know.
Guys, it's just like 5 blocks. You'll figure it out. Just go.
All right. Anyway, I'm done. But tell me about yours.
It was the most FOMO I felt because, you know, I just like love being with your family so much in Dewey. It's like such a special thing.
You're with your dad.
I was my dad. So my dad, and I don't remember if I actually said this in the beginning of March because my dad recently moved from Dallas back to Pittsburgh because he got divorced.
Oh my God.
Yes, we made it, guys. We made it, fam. We made it through that marriage and we're through it and it's over.
I feel like we could go back through this podcast and do a compilation of all of the times you've said you wish you would get divorced.
Yeah, I actually was sugarcoating how I really feel about her. I hate her. But I wanted to wait until the divorce papers were signed and the check was cut before I announced it. So anyways, my dad moved back to Pittsburgh, which is a great weight off me. I don't have to like split my time with my parents anymore. And my dad moved right next door to my mom. So he's a 90-second walk to my mom's house. My parents have been divorced for 30 years. It's the weirdest dynamic. My dad doesn't understand like why my mom doesn't invite him over. Again, my mom's been married 25 years to somebody else. We pulled up, my dad picked me at the airport. We pulled up to my mom's house to say hi because we like drove by my mom's. She was on the porch. It's such a weird dynamic. And we pull up and I'm chit-chatting with her and he's at the bottom of the porch. He's pouting. He's not talking. I look at him. I'm like, what's your problem? He looks over and he goes, you know, you never say hi to me when I walk by here. Like truly pissed.
To your mom?
To my mom. I'm like, she doesn't owe you anything, bro.
But aren't they like friends? Like, would you say they're friends?
My parents have been a unique divorce. My dad has always been included in everything, which was a nice thing my mom has always done for our family. Birthdays, holidays, events, always included. Probably not to like, what is it, the chagrin of my mom. She doesn't love it, but they're friendly. Like nothing terrible happened. They've been split up for 30 years. Nobody cheated. Nobody stole or lied. It's just, they have an amicable relationship.
But your dad would prefer to be like besties.
Best friends.
Your dad drives by, he's like, hey, bestie.
He's upset.
Your mom's like, fuck off.
He's like, your mom never.
Your mom's like, get off my property.
That's what she's like, my other husband is here. So they have
your dad's like,
divorce.
that's my best friend. She's a real bad bitch. That's my best friend. She's like, Bill, I'm calling the cops.
My dad goes, your mom wants me back when Minchin closer. I'm like, what? And he goes, do you think she'll come to lunch with us today? And I was like, no, I don't. And he goes, tell her I'll pay if she'll come. And I was like, she can afford her own lunch. And I texted her and said, do you want to come to lunch with me and Dad? I'm going to lunch at the Cheesecake Factory. And she goes, no, I do not want to have lunch with your father.
She had to like restate the question. She couldn't just say no. She said, no, I do not want to have lunch with you and your father.
100%. So it's an interesting dynamic. That's our family.
Oh my God.
But it was really nice. And that's my life.
All right. You had something else.
I wanted to ask you a question and see how you felt about this. Because I finally did this thing that I've been waiting to do for a long time. And I didn't do it for a while because I didn't want to embarrass you.
What?
I think that you'll just have an opinion about it, so I just wanted to ask you. It's like a little thing, but you had this thing with this guy years ago, who I was friendly with, perfectly fine, nice guy. I mean, nice enough until he did some fuckboy shit, but whatever. I followed him on Instagram years ago, and he like goes live every 30 seconds, like way too much. And so I would say you guys haven't spoken in about 2 years, since like May of 2 years ago. And he just went live for like the 95th time this week, and I unfollowed him. And I was wondering what you thought about like the proper amount of time to unfollow your friend's ex-man, because you don't want to do it at a time to make your friend look like bitter.
Look like your friend told people to stop following.
So I thought 2 years was a good amount of time.
Okay. Honestly though, if you are going live every hour, you know why you're being unfollowed, and it has nothing to do with your bitter ex. He's not an ex, but you know, like if he was a guy that didn't ever post and then all of a sudden notice that, I don't notice when people unfollow me, but let's say he did notice you unfollowed him, I think he'd be like, oh shit, but he needs to know his behavior is unacceptable.
Oh, so I should have gone in the live and told him and unfollowed him.
You know what I mean? Like somebody came up the other day, and you can always mute. I mute people that I really never want to see what they're up to, but 100%. I don't want to hurt their feelings. You know, like maybe they don't have a lot of followers and they are like a friend, and I'm just like, I feel bad, so I'll just mute them. But like someone popped up in my feed the other day. It was a friend of my ex, and I guess he had never even posted until now. He just started it up, you know, and I was just like, whoa, unfollow immediately, because I also don't care. And he's not thinking like, Ashley's still so bitter. I was like, I don't want to see your amateur guitar videos.
Absolutely. Even if we're fucking currently, I don't want to see it. It's so awkward.
It's so awkward.
But yeah, maybe like 2 years, just unfollow your friends' exes.
The 2 year mark. The 2 year mark, you can unfollow someone your friend casually sort of had a thing with.
I just didn't want to make you look better.
If he's going live.
Yeah.
A lot.
Going live. Okay, so that's what I wanted to tell you about that I did.
Well, I had a crazy night last night.
I thought you were lying to me. I would just tee this up by saying Ashley kept saying these things to me, and I thought she was.
It was so unbelievable.
And you don't lie. So I was on the phone with somebody, and he was like, "Is she making this up?" And I was like, "She doesn't lie." So like, I think it's true.
Well, I don't lie literally ever, but I would have been like joking with you. You weren't thinking I was straight up like, I'm gonna lie to her.
Yeah, like she was just like tricking me,
tricking you. Yeah, I do love to trick. I love to tell people like I missed my flight. I can't make it.
The first time we traveled together, you told me you went to the wrong airport.
Yeah.
You can only do it once.
Yeah, you can only do it once. Okay, so last night we're recording this on Tuesday, and so last night was Monday night. I had a show at the Stand, and I was tired. I had this 10 o'clock spot. I'd driven in from Delaware. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe to do this. And then you texted me, which I'm always happy to perform. Don't get it wrong. I'm like grateful to be able to have spots and do stand-up comedy. I was just like tired, but I got it together, and you texted me and you were like, I think Dave Chappelle's going to be there. He's been there a ton. This isn't like a new thing. He's been dropping into pretty much primarily the Stand, but he was there. You said he was there. Our agent told you he was there. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. It'll be later tonight. And then I'm like, what is going to be going on there when I get there? It's always like a madhouse, and they have to shuffle everything around because they have to get ready for Dave in the main room. I mean, this is honestly since the club really opened back up for indoor shows, like the 4th time he's been there. So I was like, what's going to go on? I show up there. My show was supposed to be indoors. It was outside. Don't love an outdoor show. No one does. This is no comedian across the board is like, I want to perform outside, where the laughs get lost in the air. Like it just is, you know, you hear sirens. It's distracting, but I was like, whatever. It's, you know, because Dave's here, huge line down the block, because when he performs, you have to get rapid COVID tests. Everybody gets COVID tested, which is what he's been doing with all these pop-up shows. They're ticketed. They're not like a secret thing. I don't know. You have to kind of watch when the tickets go live, but they're ticketed. You kind of have to be in the know. So I'm walking there. I pull up. I see this huge line, and then Friend Zone texts me. And which is a guy that I went a couple dates with, and then we mutually friend zoned. He texts me and he was like, I have an extra ticket. Do you want to go to Dave tonight? I'm like, I'm here. I'm on a show. Like I work here. And so I'm at work.
My exes are all here. I'm at work.
And I was like, I just don't know how I'm going to feel. I don't know if I want to stay out till 1 a.m. tonight. You know, I'm going to perform and whatever. So I'm just debating it. And then who do I see? A guy that I dated, the last guy I dated before the pandemic. He's there. I'm like, you're not even on a show tonight. Are you just here because I'm here? And I joked him. I was like, are you here trying to get me back? because this is the show we met on.
Okay, but like, is he?
And I mean, he stayed the whole night, and I'm like, what else can happen? Here we are. I'm get up there. I'm like getting texts like from a one guy I dated, then the other guy I dated is there, and then I walk in and there's our agent, and I'm like, okay, dad. Like now it's like this hybrid dad and boss here at my like. I'm like, what else is going on? I don't even want to be here. And then Dave Chappelle's on the way, so I did my set. It was fine, and you know, with two guys I've dated watching, of course, and my boss, like sorta / dad, and I'm like, this is like a nutty night. And so I got done and I was like, I'll stay. You know, he has this extra ticket. The girl he's seen now couldn't make it. I was like, I'll stay. Got in line.
Wait, friend zone has a girlfriend?
He's dating somebody.
What the fuck? I didn't know.
From Delaware.
Get out of here.
Love to see it.
Is she cool, you think?
I think she's cool.
Probably.
We talk about like who we're dating. Like it's a great friend to have.
Sorry guys, I don't know why we're doing this. It's just I didn't know.
So yeah, he's dating somebody. So but she couldn't make it. And I was like, her loss, because then I'm waiting in the line. You know, we gotta wait, get COVID tested, yada yada, and I see Trevor Noah just pull up. We said Dave first. Dave and Michelle Wolf showed up first. And then I see Trevor Noah and I'm like, what? Oh my God. Like, how is this happening? And I told you that I watch him so much and I watch his very close up IGTV stories. And I feel like I know him to the point of like, how people come up to us in the street and they feel like they know us because they watch us all the time. Like I almost was like, oh, hey, I don't know him. Like, I don't know. I almost was like,
I do that
that's
too with
my
famous
friend.
people. I know I do that too with famous people.
And I'm like, Trevor fucking Noah. Oh my God. You've seen a stand up, but I had not seen a stand up. He's probably in my top 5 like celebrity crushes. Just had found out he's recently single.
Crushes Hall Pass.
He's my top 5 so incredible in every way and so hot. And then who pulls up and gets out of a SUV? Chris Rock.
Do you guys understand why I thought that she was just like fucking with me? Because I was supposed to come to this and I was like, I'm too tired. Our agent was like, just come. I was like, fuck this. I live 3 blocks from the stand.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care about this. I'll just be at home on the phone with my man.
Well, and Dave's there a lot, but like it's never a guarantee who else will be there. And it's just so you guys know, Chris Rock is a favorite of mine. I saw Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock really at the pinnacle of their career. Not, of course, they still have great careers. They're icons. They're legends. They're the GOATs. But like I have seen them live. I remember seeing Chris Rock at the Fox Theater Atlanta and I had to pee so bad and I didn't want to get up because I didn't want to miss a joke. Like I'm just so enamored by them. And I knew that he had been doing shows with Dave and I was like, what would it feel like to see them together on stage? And the show was so cool. Dave kind of hosts it and then he brings everybody up. And Trevor Noah was awesome. And Michelle Wolf, of course, I've always loved her. And then at the end, Chris Rock came up and then Dave was kind of heckling him from the doorway. And then finally Dave came up on stage. They both sat down together. It felt like if me and you were just iconic Black male comedians and that's who like their vibe is like they've just been friends forever. They've worked on so much together. Like I'm like, am I Dave Chappelle and Raina's Chris Rock? Like just because he's smaller.
Short one?
Yeah. But I was just blown away. I was like, I feel like I never need to see anything else in comedy. I mean, you hear about all these drop-ins, but like everybody has different like idols that they want to see. Like those would be my 2. I was like, just see Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock together on stage, just shooting the shit.
I'm so jealous. And you think about like the first people you saw in comedy.
Yeah.
You always ask me like, when did I start getting into comedy? When did I start watching comedy? Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock were like some of the first people I ever saw do comedy.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. And so like these are just like idols in comedy of mine. And to be able to see all that, and Trevor Noah I think is phenomenal and brilliant too. You're right. I do watch
good.
To be able to hear their voices come out of their bodies in person.
It was so nuts. So yeah, I'm also just like that's where I perform. That's my home club. Like, oh my God.
You guys can go see Ashley Hesseltine there as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm just just check the lineup. We'll look for my photo.
She's in these streets.
I'm in the streets. All right.
Well, that's it for our updates. You guys are all caught up on our lives. We're heading to LA. We're excited to be there together. And we'll talk to you from LA next week.
Yeah. And we have Katie Sturino today, a repeat guest. We're so excited to have her and catch up with her and go to dinner with her afterwards at Ozatar with Jamie Lee too. We got a squad. Yeah. This is the most name dropping intro that we've
How many times am I going to say our agent in one intro? Whatever. Okay. You know what? This is our 3 year anniversary with our agent.
He was there. And he was part of the story.
Okay, guys, we are so excited to welcome back a guest today. She is an entrepreneur, a social media influencer, a body acceptance advocate, and a fierce animal activist. She is the founder of Mega Babe, an innovative beauty brand, and the host of Boob Sweat podcast. Her book, Body Talk, comes out tomorrow, 5/25. Please welcome Candid Sturino.
Oh my God. Katie, are you
How
good?
can I follow that with like anything verbal? It's only visual.
That's your intro.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You have to intro us now. I'm kidding.
My only two friends in New York City. Yeah.
Well, Katie, we're so happy to have you back.
Lots happened.
We're big Katie Sturino fans. And yeah, we're going to do a catch up on you. You've gotten married. You've written a book. You've done all kinds of things. It's the show.
Mm-hmm. And you told me that our podcast was one of the only times you were ever honest about your story with your now husband.
It was one of the only times I could be my true self. And that's true because most of the time I have to stay on message, which all things I believe in, which is like empowering women and body acceptance and all the things, calling out brands. Like these are platforms and messages that I really enjoy speaking on. But one of the things that I never get to talk about is just sex and dating because I have to keep it kind of like, network TV, right? Not like I'm ever on a network television like show, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Keep it like
it's not HBO. Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
If you guys don't remember, you listen to the episode, you told us about fucking your now husband on the first date. And you were like, let's go.
Yeah.
Saddle up.
Incredible.
Yes, that's the thing. And then I married him.
We never got to hook you and my brother up, but now he's married and you're married.
Honestly,
and we're still single.
I saw that. I saw that wedding and I really had to hold myself back. I was like, you know what, Katie, this is a family member. Like, you can't like just text her and be like, your hot ass brother got married, I see. Like, I was like, this is a serious life event.
That would have been amazing though. Like, I told him we were interviewing her. He was like, what's up with Katie? And can I get some hand sanitizer? We just love.
He can.
We'll buy it. We support you. But your products are second to none. Like,
thank you.
You made the elite hand sanitizer of the pandemic. Among other things, you have other great products too.
It's true.
If I see someone pull out a Mega Babe hand sanitizer, I'm like, we're soul sisters or brothers.
It's true. Hand sanitizer was huge for us in 2020. I thought the business would collapse because I was like, well, no one's going to go anywhere. No one's doing anything. Like, it's all over for us, which was very sad. But actually, my sister, who is a bulldog, was able to like get in our manufacturers' faces and just like, she just knew, because we already had hand sanitizer in the line. She actually like was like, get us back on like the conveyor belt immediately. And we like got to cut in front of a lot of people, and we were in stock for like the pandemic, which was crazy.
And you guys sent us stuff. You were my first unboxing video I ever did. You guys sent me a great Mega Babe unboxing box full of stuff. And you're in business with your sister.
Yeah. I'm in business with my sister and my best friend from growing up.
Okay. So the three of you run Mega Babe together.
Yeah.
My brother and I could never be in business. We would murder each other.
I don't know. We like, my sister and I talk. My parents like try to police us for talking too much. They're like, you guys talk an awful lot. Okay.
Like in the world or to each other?
To each other.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like, do you need, and I think that they're jealous, or I don't get why they're mad about it, but they do bring it up a lot.
Like, you guys are too close?
Yeah. Well, they're like, well, how can you get any work done? You talk. And like, you talk
are you ever like, don't worry about us, we're
run a business
constantly. But the thing is, here's the problem, is for the first 2 years of our business, my parents housed our product in their garage and we brought them out of retirement and they fulfilled the shipping.
I love this plan because my parents have so much space on the farm to do this. And what else are they doing?
Right.
Besides
That's what
feeding
I'm saying.
8 cats a day.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, you guys work for us now.
I love this.
Like big semi trucks backing up into the house, sending stuff off to Ulta. Like, my sister and my brother-in-law basically just moved back in with my parents. And like, for the first 2 years, like everyone was like running the business out of the house. So for that reason, my parents feel extreme ownership over the business. And they're like, you never talk to us about the business anymore. I'm like, okay. I mean, you were in shipping.
Yeah.
You were the shipping
company.
company.
Glorified interns at this point.
Yes.
Okay. Let's back up to your husband.
Okay.
So if you guys want to listen, you told this whole story of how you met him. You were kind of rebounding. You were married to someone that people may know. We're not going to get into it. And you were like, this is just going to be like booty call.
Yes.
And then you married him.
Yes.
But before that, you were dating all over the country. You were like hustling out there. You were just like setting your Bumble, Tinder.
I was having friends set it to their city and then have them swipe for me, log off, and then I go on and see who we caught.
And you would fly there.
Yeah, for dates.
Because you were like, New York men are trash. Is that what it was?
That's a fact.
Okay.
Yes.
But you found one. Well, he's from Queens.
Well, I had to import from Queens.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, dating in New York City is a garbage experience. And I think dating in any other city is so much better.
I think that we find that everybody thinks like dating my city sucks, but I have like almost exclusively dated outside of New York City for most of my serious relationships. DC, LA, Denver, South Carolina, Florida, all. I stay in long distance relationships.
Yes,
and then you import them, like you said.
Yes,
okay,
that's exactly.
So you were
it.
flying all over the country to meet men.
Yes, and I don't know if you can still do that with your Bumble app. Well, I don't think it's not a feature that they allow.
Well, Hinge, you can just set it to wherever.
Really?
They don't check. Like, I don't know how they would, but you can set it to like Denver
also,
right now.
why do they care?
And you would swipe. Yeah, why do they care?
I
Like,
don't know.
Because I would, on a couple times, pre-pandemic, like for example, when we went to Denver, I a week out set it to Denver.
Yes.
To just start scouting.
Yes.
So maybe I could like line up a date or
work.
two.
Yeah, it's really work. I think it's interesting when people are like, I can't get a date on the apps, and I'm like, what? Like, look what I was doing. I was literally buying plane tickets.
Right.
I don't know.
But you found a guy.
I found a guy. I think it's an urban legend that like if you like sleep with someone on the first date or like even just a general booty call that like you don't even really know anything about them. I did marry him.
We say all the time, if you're vibing with somebody, sleep with them.
Yeah.
Withholding sex is not going to make somebody date you either long
That's
term.
true.
The person that I was engaged to, I fucked him on my first date.
Yep.
Like, who cares?
Yeah. I get multiple stories like that.
Right. Wait if you want to wait also, but like there's no rush. But also if like you were just feeling it, I mean, you tell the story. It's a funny ass story.
I did, yeah, because it was Valentine's Day.
Oh, right.
And so I had to try to decide. I'm back in my happy place. I had decided to treat myself to a man. And I was like talking with him on the apps and I was like, you know what? Come on over. I turned all the lights off. I got in my room, like lingerie, like left the front door open. Like he buzzed up. I went in the dark because like in case he was ugly in person, I just didn't want to see his face.
Lights off,
yeah. So we were in the dark and then I saw like a beam of light hit his face. And I was like, oh my God, you're so cute.
Kind eyes.
Yes, kind eyes. And I was so happy.
But jeggings.
I didn't.
And like a band t-shirt.
Fully a Banana Republic sale rack that said Capitan in like script font.
He's like, these are my sex pants and t-shirt. This is how I'm gonna get fucked tonight. This is my sex outfit.
No, he had gone to like a local bar to like have some drinks because he thought he was going to get robbed.
What? So he thought I'd show up to the robbery drunk?
Yes. That was his plan.
Just to be loose.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's like, I want to have less of my facilities when I'm getting robbed.
But that's really, he thought it was either going to be like I was a cam girl or this was a robbery. Very, very small percentage was it just a real thing.
I love that he was willing to risk the robbery.
100%.
I think that was
maybe get laid on Valentine's Day.
But he wore his jeggings so he could run quicker. Get out of here.
Such a good call.
But I have a question for you. Okay, when you said come, were you like come over, we're fucking, or were you like come, we'll hang out at my place? Like, did you make it clear this is?
No,
like,
it was serious. It was very clear.
Yeah,
come over and fucking.
I wasn't talking to this man about anything serious. Like yeah.
Right, you did not take him seriously. At what point did you realize he was the future Mr. John Sturino?
Like 3 months in, because I kept using him and I would like tell him to his face. I was like, listen, this is nothing. And he was like, yeah, that works for me. Like, that's good. Like, I'm fine with that. Because I'd be like, it's good though, because I can have sex with you after I go on dates with real guys.
Oh my God. What? That's so mean.
I know.
Did you feel like he was like, knew you were bluffing? Like,
no, I wasn't bluffing. I was dead ass serious.
Wait, I have a question then, and you can feel free to not answer because he's your husband now. But like, why were you like, I don't see you as a prospect? Just because you fucked him on the first date, and you put him in like the
No,
the
I
sex
think that
box?
I was snobby about like his origin story.
Okay.
I just think that he wasn't who I envisioned. I was like, I want a rich ass man. I like didn't do a banker the first time. Now I'm going to get a banker only, house in the Hamptons. Like,
got it.
Yeah. Like I was like, this is my time to really grab the golden ring.
You were just being a snob. Yeah, exactly. We've all been there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm totally judgmental. Like his accent, the things he was saying, like he's like super deep. Like his like accent is the best, but like he just would say these things. And I was like, who the fuck are you?
But
I totally get that. Like
text me things I didn't understand. I was like, I'm sorry. Are you referencing a joke we had last night? I literally wasn't listening to you. Like it was I know maybe what your listeners should learn from is I was mean as hell to him. And I've never been that mean to someone.
We always say, do nothing.
No,
but I just want to, like, because I was making fun of you a little bit. And we've said on this podcast, and I say all the time, like, if your list is, I want to get a rich man, make a list and go get what you want. Like, if your top 5 things are these type of things, I think that's whatever. I'm not going to judge you. If that's what you want, go get it.
Yeah.
So if your list is, I want somebody who's rich that provides for me, I don't want to work, then like, that's your list. Go get it.
That's what I thought my list was. And then my list turned out to be like someone who's like a big cheerleader for me and like support system. Someone who I never get sick of and just want to hang out with. And someone who's like open to life, kind and honest and all these other things. Yes. But that was my list.
Was this like a huge awakening and eye-opening?
Yes, like it was like a therapy. I was like 100%. In the therapy, and my like therapist kept being like, and back to that guy you keep calling Queens. Now you seem to be with him a lot, and I'm like, yeah, but like the other guy is a jet, and she was like, and can we go back to that list of things that you really want in a new partner that you didn't get in your past marriage? So it was like I love like that moment.
I love Josh.
Yes, that moment.
So how did you let go of the list? I think we all make these lists for ourselves, and it's like, don't stick to them if you find something that makes you really happy. So how'd you let go of the list? I went to this is all right. Don't hang up on me, dear listeners, but I went to my energist.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, everyone. I went to the energist and we really like worked through it. She's like, what is it? Like, what is it? Like, what is the problem? Like, what would happen if you were with someone who you didn't think, who like didn't live in, New York City or whatever.
Didn't have a Hamptons house.
Yes. And it really came down to my own insecurities. Right. Like, it's just like me, like, that's what I think I need to exist in the world. And I didn't. And I think that like probably helped in my own personal growth. And now I have like the best husband in the world.
I didn't know we were going to go down this road, but I love it. And I mean, the most serious relationship I've had, like I've said it before, like our first date, I was like, oh no, we're not. And like for weeks, I was like, we're not dating. Like we're not gonna date, like, cause I thought I wanted a different kind of guy, like not necessarily so like rich, but definitely more alpha, definitely more successful. Like, this list of things that I thought I wanted and needed. And it did boil down to this person that I just wanted to spend my time with. Yeah. That like made me laugh. And it was like, I never want to not hang out with him. Of course we broke up, but like, I'm just saying, like, I had to really self-reflect and be like, what I thought I wanted was not it at all. Yeah. And then I feel like that relationship changed me for the better in terms of now what I know that I want, and what is important, like what matters. But it was like the same thing of like, you're not going to date me. Like, this is fun.
I have to tell you that actually the second time I saw him, which I think was the next night, like February 15th, I like me thinking I'm like amazing. I'm like, so did you tell everyone about about last night? And he was like, no. He was like, what if we get married? Like, I'm not going to tell anyone. And then I was like, I think we're good. I think we're safe. But we did. We got married.
But Katie, can I just say about you and like, honestly, like you made this list of like, I want to marry a rich man, and then you're just a rich man.
I'm just like Cher.
You created
just like you guys. Yes.
You're Cher.
Yes.
So like, it's just be with a person that like lights up your life. It makes you excited and like
the best.
Whatever. Who cares about money? Like you could be a rich man.
I know, but I didn't. This is like, I just didn't. I don't know.
Well, you get it now.
I get it now.
I love that you tied it back to insecurity, because that's what it is. Like, you have to dig deep. I had to dig deep and be like, why am I picking this guy apart?
It's embarrassing.
Like, why do I feel like he's not good enough for me?
Yes.
He's great.
Yes.
Like, what's going on in my head? Like, you have to, see your energist or just deal with it on your own, or go to therapy, or just kind of reflect and like work through this shit. Cause it's a real thing. I think we've all been there.
And I think that, we all want to be proud of our partners, right? We want to be inspired by them. We want to feel like we're with somebody that they're proud of you and you're proud of them. But being financially successful, first of all, can go away in a heartbeat. But secondly, like you can be proud of other things. You can be proud of like the man that somebody is and the obstacles that they overcame and like who they've become in spite of what they've gone through in life and like how supportive. Like you can be proud of other things besides their bank account.
I mean, I never thought I would end up with Azul coming off of
Where is the parallel?
Coming off of Dewey, the most beautiful, majestic, true king, and now I got this little dog with a fucked up mouth, and he's got a weird past. Like I had the most beautiful dog that ever roamed this earth.
Yeah, but he made you happy too.
But of course, he made me happy. He was like, love my life. But like, I literally, you guys, I can't believe I'm saying this. I literally fell in love with Azul's personality.
You ever see a dog, not Azul, because I love him, it's so ugly, and you're like, I bet they have a great personality.
Azul was not ugly, but I fell in love. I was like, this is the
he doesn't have a big bank
sweetest, most amazing animal ever.
He's got a weird past.
And then now I'm obsessed with his look.
Yeah. Yes.
You know
I know, because it can switch like that.
Like I even think
that is
about
not the case with John. I'm just clarifying for him listening to this podcast. I thought you were very handsome. Yeah.
Oh, at first, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
He didn't like grow on you, but
Also,
that can happen too.
Not for nothing. I also want to say that he told me he was going to go to law school, and I was like, like, sure you are. Yeah. And then he went to law school.
Okay.
And he graduates next week.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I know. And he wants to be he's very into like workers' rights. And,
I love that.
Yeah. And like, so essentially like he's just a good person, like going out in the world and like helping people. It's very cute.
You really like found a really great guy.
Oh, I listened to him like talking to people who have been like abused at work, and I don't listen to their cases, but I'm just saying like I'll hear the way he's like helping them, and I like want to cry.
Yeah, you're like a good person.
Yes.
He's such a good person. He came in our very
That's
first show
right.
at Caroline's. Like he was in the green room because you were on our show.
One tear.
And he came and it's just like he settled the room because we were like so anxious and crazy.
Well, it was raining.
It was a mess.
Right.
He's just really a great energy and like a warm person to be around.
Yes. Yeah.
Which we all should really want.
Yes.
I'm so glad we like got into this.
Because your New York banker is not gonna give everybody the
Your
warmth.
New York banker is gonna like 10 years into that relationship, and you're gonna be like, yeah.
I mean, we know girls that prioritize money over everything. And again, can't say enough. Go off if that's what you want to do.
Sure.
But like if somebody buys you a big house and you get to live in this giant house, who cares if you're not happy inside the house? Like,
I know.
what's the point of all this? We know people that prioritize money over literally everything else. And we've watched friends of ours, one particular, just sort of jettison every nice guy and like prioritize rich guys. And I'm like, okay, once you get like the ring and the Hamptons house, like, are you happy? What do you have?
I don't think so.
I mean, I would rather live in the pool house and be happy with my
I'd
life.
rather live in the pool house and be happy. Truly.
So can we talk about him taking your name?
Yes.
Was it a discussion or was it just easy and like, this is what we're doing? Like, we got to talk more about this.
So I was like, wait, hold on a second. In my first marriage, we did not share a last name. And going forward, I was like, I like the idea. I know how difficult it could be. This is so lame, but like logistically, it actually is much easier to do things if you have the same last name. Like I can change his plane flight. Like I can do whatever. Yeah. Because otherwise it's like, it's my husband.
We should get the same last name.
Like, yeah. Like people are like, okay, but do you have his like information? But when you say the name, everyone's like, great. Like there's no questions. Hotels, everything is easier. When you have the same last name. If you have kids, like it's all just easy. And so I was like, would you ever consider this? He was like, yeah, why not? He's like, why do women always have to change their name? It's like a completely ridiculous concept. I like your last name. Let's do it.
I love that.
Yeah. And actually he had a really hard time like getting all of his school stuff changed over. It went really slow. He was like, is this what women have to go through? Because this is like very annoying.
Yeah, it's
I heard it's a pain
in the ass.
DMV.
Yes, the DMV, everything.
Say less.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. I have tons of friends that were just like, I'm not filing this paperwork.
No.
When I have kids, maybe I'll do it.
Yes. And then you just like sign your name, like whatever. But yes.
Well, so sometimes I think that maybe.
He got like a lot of heat. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
But like he's gotten heat. Like people don't respect it.
It's a name. You can do whatever you want. You can combine your names. Like we could do like Green Bergelstein.
Green Bergelstein. That's our couple name. Yuck.
No, I'm just saying, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, in life and anything in marriages, you can have whatever kind of wedding you want. You can do whatever name you want. Like, sometimes doesn't it boil down to sometimes like who has more name notoriety, who has a better name? Like,
I wouldn't change my last name. When I was getting married, I would have. When I was 27, I was like, one name, one family, we got a kid. And I would never change my last name now. If you want to, do it. But I mean, let's be honest about why people change their names. You changed your name to your husband's name because you were his property. That's why this has existed for hundreds of years. He owned you. That's why your dad gave you to him.
Right. Who gives this woman to this man?
I have to tell you that I see a lot in the comments whenever this is like discussed. People are like, I wanted to do it, but it was a no-go. Like, my man won't go for it. Like, I took his name. And I'm like, think about that. Like, your man would not take your name, but you're expected to take his name. We're already not at an equal footing.
Right. And then there's just weird, like, we got to keep the bloodline going.
Oh, the bloodline.
Like, you're not even royal.
What about my fucking bloodline? Okay, why is your bloodline the only thing that's important?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
This isn't Bridgerton.
Yes.
It's 2021. I would take the Duke's last name.
The Greenberg. That guy's so hot. The Greenberg bloodline is just as important.
Yes.
What if my brother never has kids? And then I decide I want to keep the Greenberg bloodline alive.
Yes.
But I love that. I love that it's so like ridiculous that like.
So ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous to other people. It's like, why? I don't know. Why is it so ridiculous?
Yeah.
So he got shit. Did his parents give him shit? Like immediate family?
Yes.
Okay.
We still get letters addressed to me and him with his last name.
I also just love his name. Like John Sturino, I just love the name.
Oh, Johnny Sturino.
Oh my God.
Have you met a more fun guy? Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah.
I love a Johnny.
I know. It's kind
dancing.
it's kind of a name shift.
Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just like think of Dirty Dancing.
I never call him Johnny like to his face, but like I'll type it.
Yeah. So you were engaged when you came on the show in August. You got married in June. Somebody semi-famous married you.
Can we talk about this?
Can we talk about it?
The husband I couldn't get, Michael Bloomberg. Ever heard of him? So he did marry me. He was the absolute best. It was great. And he just does so much for the globe. I love him so much. Listen, he ran for president. Okay. I don't know that he's like meant for the public eye in that way, but,
the mayor of New York City married you, whatever. It's still so cool.
I thought it was cool that I officiated my brother's wedding and here comes Katie. She's like, but guess what?
Oh my God, your officiant could never with your jumpsuit. Yes.
What if she tried to one-up me? She posted the same photo. She's like, your officiant could never. It's Michael Bloomberg. I'm like, wow, Katie's trolling me.
She photoshops your jumpsuit on Michael Bloomberg.
She's still jealous about Matt.
How's your brother? Yeah. What a creep.
I would love to see Michael Bloomberg in that jumpsuit.
I love Michael Bloomberg so much.
You're a foot taller than Michael Bloomberg. You could never pull off that jumpsuit.
I am a foot tall.
Katie's officiant could never.
He literally was like, these people need to eat less salt. Like this is. But also, I wear exclusively Bloomberg 2020 merchandise.
You too.
Yeah. Oh,
you don't understand. 2020
I've never been more into politics than like the 2 months that I was like in campaign headquarters. Like I was like in the West Wing. Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah. It was really fun.
Amazing. All right. Well, let's shift gears.
Yeah. Also, so many good takeaways. I feel very like moved and like misty-eyed by the stuff you said.
Should we just start a new podcast, the three of us? Listen, it's like girls gotta have boob sweat.
But anyways, you're one of the few guests we don't have a lot of repeat guests. So you're one of the few.
I can't even believe that you're having me back. I can't even believe that you wanted to have me back.
Well, we want to have you back for a lot of reasons, but we love your body acceptance angle, and you have a book coming out tomorrow. If you guys are listening to this today on the 25th, this is like a good segue to talk about the book and what inspired it. And I was reading the summary of the book, and I felt even inspired just in the summary. So
I really hope that you do the book. And by do the book, I mean that the book is not like my memoir for you to like read and get inspired by, but the book really is an interactive guide that has like exercises, and we examine how you speak to yourself internally, like what's going on in your own head, what you're saying to yourself in the mirror. And then also the external, we call them enoughs. And by we, I'm just talking about myself. Call them enoughs, like all the external forces that are negative that like make you feel bad about yourself that you don't even know they're there. We try to help identify some of those and teach you how to weed them out of your life.
So what are some of them?
Well, external negative forces could be anything from noticing when you're following someone on social media, whether it's a friend or whether it's like just a lot. I find a lot of people do this. Like maybe it's an Australian bikini account.
Maybe it's the Revolve account.
Maybe it's the Revolve account.
Yeah,
exactly. And you're like, you follow it because you want it as somehow like maybe Fitspo, or like you think you're inspiring yourself, but what you're doing is just making yourself, every time you see those images, feel like, oh, I'm never going to be that. I'm not that. I can't pull that off. That's not me. So I feel like weeding out some of those things, friends, like paying attention to the way you feel with friends. If you leave a dinner with a friend every single time, you're like, were they like kind of shitting on me? Backhanded compliments, like saying things like, we should really like go to that gym together. Like just like that kind of stuff, which has happened to me before. You have to remove those people from your lives. And then lastly, it's harder with family, but family is usually the biggest impact for body image because family can get fucking mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like nobody's meaner to each other in like family.
No, family is straight up like
I guess strangers on the internet, but
well, straight same things.
Yeah.
Them and my mom. Yeah. They're the meanest people.
Yeah. They're down to tell you exactly what they feel.
I love that you brought up right out of the
deeper.
gate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right out of the gate, unfollow people on social media, make you feel bad about yourself. I feel like during the pandemic, I cleansed my feed, I unfollowed. And I think a lot of influencers that do in the fashion space are great because I like watching what they wear and how they style things. But for me, it was sort of making me feel like I don't look like this. Why don't I look like this? And something that you talk about in the book is like not being in this headspace where you're like, I can't ever stop thinking about this. I can't ever stop beating myself up. And it's like when you're constantly surrounded by it, which I am because I'm on Instagram all the time, how could you ever stop beating yourself up about it? Yeah. So I love the message. Just stop doing that. I will also say that I think the root of the whole thing in the book is that all of us have a time before we thought that we needed to look a certain way. And I am encouraging people to go and find that inner mask. I call it the mascot. I'm using air quotes. But you go and you find that girl and you picture like what she was doing before someone told her that she looked wrong, or before you saw someone that was wearing a swimsuit that you couldn't fit into, or a boy said that you had thunder thighs, or whatever it was. I think finding that original pure moment is really important. And also going back and addressing some of those very embarrassing, deep, you both have a moment probably in your head when you were very young that someone said something to you negatively about your physical appearance. And that like usually comes pretty quickly. And that just shows you how deep this stuff is embedded in our brains. Yeah.
It never leaves
you.
Yeah. This came up the other day. This was somebody had posted, like they had memed a clip from Christina Aguilera's Dirty video, and it like weirdly flooded back. I remember watching that video and feeling so bad about my body. Like I remember just Christina and Britney, like those were our influencers. And I remember the Britney Spears VMA performance where she wore the gold jumpsuit and I can't get no satisfaction. And then she ripped it off. And like, I remember being like, I am so far from that body type that's sexy. And I was a kid. And then I just remember, I think I was like in late high school or maybe in college when Dirty came out, and I was like, I will never look like that. I'll never be able to wear those jeans, and my stomach will never look like that. And it was kind of hard to ignore because I was like, we're going to watch MTV, you know, but it flooded back to me. I was like, wow, because I love my body now, but it took a long time and my weight has always fluctuated. But I just was like, God, that used to make me feel so bad about myself as like a elder teen, you know, or even like a middle school.
Also wearing like the low-rise jeans and trying to like get into like, even though you feel so far away from it, trying to also be it, then feeling bad that you're not really pulling it off. And I don't know.
Yeah. We've come so far with jeans.
They're trying to bring us back.
No,
there.
we can't.
I know the low rise. I saw that. We're not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not doing it.
I have to tell you something. The early aughts were a bad time for fashion. So like, don't romanticize them. Like, don't talk about trucker hats like they're cool.
And slits up the side of my jeans.
Don't even. My assistant is trying to put a trucker hat on constantly, and I'm like, put it down.
Katie's assistants are here, so she's just talking shit with her.
just literally not making eye contact. But
I remember when I was like, and I talk about this all the time on the podcast, but I grew breasts like really young and I started getting attention. And then when you're getting attention from at a young age, it feels weird. You start thinking about your body all the time. And because I went through puberty earlier, I had thicker thighs. I had cellulite at an age where no one had cellulite. I had like tits and a butt. And I was like, what is my body? And then constantly was thinking about it. And I started to develop like crazy, I would like eating issues, but like, yeah, I would take like Dexatrim, or I'd be like, I'm only eating like an apple for lunch. I started to just think about it. I remember like 7th and 8th grade. I was like in my head about it. And
I eat a lot, yeah.
And I remember my mom noticed, my mom's a therapist, and she would try to talk to me about it, but I think she was a little out of her depth and like how to deal with this child because she's never had a child. And it was from a very young age, I remember starting to think about this. And it wasn't honestly like Ashley is so positive about her body, but Ashley also takes a lot of steps to feel positive. She works out, she's active, she eats healthy. And I developed much better habits as I started getting older, that I just started to think like, I work out now, I eat healthy. This is what my body's supposed to look like. And now I like own it and feel good about it. And those things personally have like helped me to feel better.
I like that.
Thanks.
I loved what you said even about the friends. Like I remember being one time with the brunch with these girls, and they were talking about hooking me up with this guy, and I know who this guy is, and I know that he dates very model-esque girls.
Yeah.
Like, but one of the friends was like, "Oh, we should hook Ashley up with this girl." And one of those girls, she's a fringe friend. She's like a friend of theirs. She literally looked me up and down, and I felt like I could read her mind. And the words that came out of her mouth were, "Really? I feel like he usually dates blondes." And it was so not about me being, it was so about like, Ashley's not hot enough to date him. Like I could feel it, and I never hung out with her again.
Wow.
And I don't think she's a bad person, but she's not a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I like said it recently a friend brought her up, and I was like, I don't like her. And she was like, why? I was like, do you remember that brunch? Like, I felt like she just looked me up and down and was
she
like,
did exactly what she did.
Ashley's not.
And look at you. You were like, no, okay. Because I think some people's instinct is to be like, I'm gonna show you that I'm hot. Okay. That's like a very woman instinct.
I'm going to show you that I don't care about your opinion of me by not being your friend. And you can't be in my space, and you can't just like be above like my airspace. You just can't. And you're right. I don't have any friends that don't make me feel good about myself. I would never be friends with people like that.
But we're all here, and as women in our 30s, like sometimes those friends are because they are like in your sorority, you know what I mean? And then it's like you have
dead weight.
You have this clique, and then it's hard to break up with one. Like I want to also validate how like sometimes it can be hard because they're like in the friend group and it's tough. And all of a sudden you guys were cool in college, and then you're in the real world. You all moved to Chicago together, and this girl's a fucking bitch.
Yes.
And you're like, how do I get rid of her?
And people are like, what's up with your friend? And you're like, we've been friends for like a really long time. I don't know when that became the like excuse for like that makes it okay to hang out with someone terrible.
Like just having a history with somebody doesn't mean you have a future together.
We're sisters.
We know the handshake.
I mean, there's always also like girls that are just prettier than you. I've always had friends who are prettier than me. I've never been the prettiest girl in the room. I just haven't. I think I look fine.
I mean, and I'm not
thank
saying.
You so much for
I literally
like,
just
no, you haven't. Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. I totally agree.
You gotta be the funniest girl in the room.
Yeah, you gotta have like other things going on for you. I've always known I wasn't the prettiest girl in the room. I'm short. I'm not like everybody's idea of like the hottest woman in the world. I like myself. I'm very confident. And Ashley knows I'll walk up to any guy in the room and I'll hit on him. And I don't care.
You're very hot.
I think I'm great. But I've always had like groups of friends. I've never been the prettiest one. But like I have other things going on.
Well,
let's
define also what does pretty mean. Pretty for me, pretty means very like like almost set on a shelf, set in glass. Like that's what pretty means to me. I've always preferred being sexy or attractive or like magnetic or whatever that is to pretty.
This isn't me digging, by the way. I think that I'm attractive. I like myself. I just mean like I've never walked into a room and thought I'm the most beautiful girl.
I know that I'm not. I'm just saying I'm not. I understand what you're saying.
So
Listen, I understand what you're saying. But yes, I'm also saying that like I think that like gets really old, maybe.
Sure, I'm flattered if someone says I'm pretty, but it's kind of like nice. Like it's the nice.
I know about
looks.
My face. Yeah.
Like I want a better.
Nice.
I'd rather a better adjective.
Yeah.
Like striking.
Yeah. Yes.
Stunning.
Yes.
Model.
But I was
10.
never like 10. No, but I know that that's not what
kidding.
I know that that's not what it's hard to look at yourself like a product, but like I am like I know what I look just like what you just said. I know what I look like. I know who I am. I know what it is. And like yeah, I don't know.
I know what I look like, and I also know that I'm interesting and I'm funny, and I try to be a nice person. And I wish I want somebody to be like, that girl's cool as fuck.
Yes.
And if you don't want
100%.
if you don't want to be my friend because you don't think I'm pretty or you don't want to date me, then I don't fucking care about you.
Well, my favorite insults on the internet are about my looks. Like, that's the lowest hanging fruit. You're ugly. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I don't like this thing about your face. Cool, dude, with like a MAGA hat on or no avatar. It's a troll account. It's like some girl I went to high school with. But like, people know those things they think are going to get at you. They use your age. They use your looks. Women, I mean, like, how do we insult women?
Fat is the number one thing to say to a woman to like make her break down.
Right.
It's you're fat.
Yeah. And like, if they feel like they can't call you fat because it doesn't track, they want to talk about your age or, you know, your looks or whatever it is, or a physical feature of your face or something that they like zoomed in and noticed that they think you're insecure about. And it's like, someone
has done that to you?
No, I just think that's what people do. They like, people are pros. I think there's people that are like professional
They
trolls.
usually just stop at fat for me.
Okay.
Yeah, they go with the easiest thing to do.
Can I ask you about your journey? So people look at you now. I look at you now. I think I see like a really confident person. But like, were you ever like trying to be a size 2, starving yourself, or did you ever feel
Where's my phone? I'll show you photos.
I've seen old photos of you.
Yeah, I look scared? I feel like
I'm just curious what your journey looks like to get to here.
Yeah, totally.
Most people would love to like enter a room the way you do.
Oh, sure. I mean, and like I just was always trying to be small. Always. The starving, the like, I'm going to eat this, but then I'm going to go on like a 10-mile run, and then like the whole thing, right? The lightest I've ever, like, I don't know, lowest on the scale I've ever been. I was wearing a size 10, and that was like not eating and working out every single day and let me stress this again, not eating. And like, I didn't even like, I was never small. Like, look at my hands, my wrist. Like, I'm just big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what did it look like when you were like, fuck this, I don't want to feel like this anymore?
It looked like a lot of people close to me in my life having a hard time with the fact that I had gained weight. Because I think that they always thought I was too big. No, I don't think. I know that they thought I was too big at like a size 12 anyway. And they were like, oh God, okay. Like, are we doing Weight Watchers? Like, what are we doing? And I would listen to that. But once I was like, okay with like having weight added to my body, or just like being okay with whatever size I was, that was upsetting for people is what I'm trying to say. Long way to get there.
It's upsetting for them that you accepted.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, how are you going to walk around with that? That can't be good. Like, you've got a gut. Oh, you've got a gut was my family's go-to for, yeah.
You're like, okay, this is my body.
Well, yeah, no, it's like, like, I mean, my dad, you know, dads can be just like right to the point, just like, oh, like that kind of, kind of stuff. Like,
were you like, okay, but like personally, were you like, okay, well, I look back at the time when I was a size 10 and I was miserable and I wasn't eating.
Well, also the fact that I was too big at a 12. I was too big at a 14. Like I've just always been too big. So like, I don't really believe you now. We've cried wolf. Like,
good call.
Yeah.
And then how have you stopped that? Is it conversations over time? Is it like,
no, it's like pretty hard and fast. Like,
tell your family to stop.
Yeah. Like if you still want me to come home, if you still want me to like have a relationship with you, like my body's not a conversation. Like health. Yeah, totally. I go to the doctor like pretty regularly. Right. Like we got it.
Right.
We're good. Mm-hmm. You don't think I should be wearing these white pants? I'm sorry. Like, yeah.
And if people aren't totally familiar with your brand, which what are you like?
They're probably not.
But your brand is like wearing all the things that
you wear anything you
models,
want.
actresses, skinny people wear.
Yes.
Like it to a T. I don't even know how you do it. You remind me of the Sex and the City guy that does all the outfits. Like how do you get all the outfits? Okay, we can talk about this at dinner.
Okay.
But I just like I
was like Stanford Blatch.
And it's amazing. Right. No, the guy in his name is Dan. He does Sex and the City. He does all Carrie.
You'll have to show this to me. I don't know.
It's incredible.
But you pick all these people like Emily Ratajkowski and Kate Middleton and all these like model-esque women, and you recreate those styles for your body.
Yes, exactly. So it's actually a serious process, and I think people are like, "Wow, you just have these clothes in your closet. That's great."
No, I don't think that's what I'm asking. I need to know.
And I'm just saying that it is. It's very intense, and I think recreating celebrity style is certainly nothing new, but doing the exact lineup with the exact pose, like everything, that's very much something that I did. And it's hard to do something new on the internet, right? And actually, only probably 10% of the time do I actually wear the same item of clothing that the celebrity is wearing, because it never comes in my size.
Right.
So that's one interesting fact. And then, so that means we have to source it from all these other brands. And then maybe it's really hard to find a lilac sweater that comes in a size 18-20. So you have to ditch that one. So it's a lot of time and work. And it's why I have 2 assistants.
Okay. With us today. Yeah. So my question is, if this is not your experience, then you'll tell us, but you talked about like managing the verbal talk with your parents and family, but I want to talk managing self-talk in dating when you're like, we've all had those moments where we're like, nothing fits. I don't even want to go to this. Yeah. I don't know how to approach this guy, either on a dating app or in person. So like, did you ever have negative self-talk in terms of dating, and how do you manage it?
Well, here's the thing. I think that I actually stopped going on sit down face to face, as you can see from my man I married date. But I stopped going on sit down face-to-face dinners because I could not handle the eyes on me in like such a, because you're dealing with someone who's like only seen you on the internet. Now they're like, they're registering. You can see them looking at you like, okay, this angle. Like, I just feel like you can feel them taking you in, and I could not handle that. So then I changed everything to dog walking dates or like sit on a stoop date, because like I just can't handle this eye contact.
Well, and regardless of how you feel about your body, that's a great dating tip in general. Like, it's fucking sucks.
Right.
Like, to sit down for dinner and like, and we've talked to a lot of experts that say it's better, especially if you have any sort of anxiety about anything, to go on a side-by-side date where you're not staring at each other from across the table. You're taking a walk in the park. Yeah, you're doing something where you're not like one-on-one, face-to-face job interview, you know? I don't
think I answered your question though. The answer is yes, I absolutely had like body, face, the whole thing, nervousness, like upper lip sweat, because I think that is normal. However, one way to alleviate the normal thoughts that could happen, which are like, for plus size women specifically, he's gonna think I'm fat. Like, he's going to think, and this is a whole different thing to dive into, but let's just keep it light, which is he's going to think I'm too big to date. He's going to think that like I'm gross. Like, all these thoughts are really common. They're like a really easy cycle to get into. And men commonly reinforce them by being like, are you like, is this an accurate picture of you? Are you going to get much bigger? Like really like saying really terrible things. Right. But the way I cut that off was to show current accurate photos of my full body, and then I know that they know what's going on.
I love that advice. I think everybody should do it no matter what they look like. Men, women.
I agree, but like, I find that especially plus size women, I'll look at a dating profile. We got a lot of selfies. We got some like neck ups. We got sunglasses. Like, we're not showing, and I don't know what the point of that is.
I guess the inclination is like, I want somebody to fall in love with who I am, because that's ultimately who you're dating. You're not dating like my body. You're dating me and my personality. I think people want to fall, but
that's
somebody is dating,
work.
right?
They're based on the first impression.
Right.
That's just what
100%. So that's not the way that the world works.
But your answer is the answer. Like, if you have shown them what you look like, truthfully, there is no, what if he thinks I look this way? Yes. We already saw the way that
that's
you
why that's a huge like alleviator, because you're like you're into thick girls.
Because then you're weeding out the guys that wouldn't.
Yes. Who are like,
that were going to make you feel bad on the date anyway.
Yes. I mean, I've had men tell me to get gastric bypass. Like, I've had men who like have said a lot of terrible things, and you believe that stuff too. And like, you're like, but they're helpful, but when you're in a certain headspace, but then afterwards you're like, what the fuck?
That was right. And then we always say this, like, sometimes you don't know how to react in the moment. You go, you beat yourself up because you're like, why didn't I clap back at that terrible comment that dude made?
And you were like, okay.
Right. You don't know how to act. You go in the bathroom and cry. You're like, what am I doing?
I know. I just was watching something, and she was like, I never know what to do when grown men play the guitar in front of me.
I never know what to do when they sing. It's so uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
The intro.
It's a nightmare.
It's so awkward. There's nothing worse.
It's a nightmare.
I can't do it. It's so hard to get it up after that. But I appreciate you talking about this. And I think that a lot of people have like anxiety about like how they look and confidence. Yes. We've talked about it on a million episodes. So hopefully you guys can go back and check out a million different ones. Yes. But I love your tips. I think they're really fantastic.
Thank you.
I have a question. So I love obviously everything you've said and all your tips. And, you know, we have said this numerous times in this podcast. This is not a new take for us to unfollow, to curate your feed, to be people that don't make you feel bad about yourself, cut those people out of your life. But there is a point where you cannot ignore every trigger. And I think that the work that you do is really great, drawing attention to like, hey, maybe don't talk to women like this about their bodies. And like, can we stop this? And I think there's so many activists out there that are tackling like the diet culture and the fit teas and all that kind of stuff. But there is a point where it's like anything could be triggering. You know what I mean? Just seeing someone that's thin could be triggering. And so what's the answer to that? Because people aren't just going to stop being thin. They're not going to stop posting that they're working out. They're not going to stop doing stuff that may trigger someone that's struggling with their weight. So is it just being a stronger sense of self and doing the internal work?
Yes, you got to do the work. And even if you have done the work, I think if you are a quote unquote person in the public, then there are still times when that stuff can just be hard.
We're all triggered by stuff. Yeah. Yes. But like if you've done enough of the internal work, you can work through it. You
bounce back quicker.
Right.
You don't like stay home and like just like give up on the night or give up on whatever, cancel the meeting. You're like, well, shit. And then you like, change your clothes and go.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we covered all of this. Again, the book, we'll plug it at the end again too, but this is this helps people do that work, right?
Yes. You get like actual homework. It really is like a step-by-step guide. It's pretty fun. It's colorful. There's illustrations. It's not earnest. It's like fun.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, from a person who's like done the work, not just a therapist, the person who's like gone through this. So I really appreciate it. We always say like, we love talking to therapists about how to do this like quote unquote work, but like to talk to somebody who's gone through it.
Yes.
It's so much more like meaningful.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are going to wrap up with you and bring back a very funny segment inspired by what happened to me last night called Fuck My Phone. And we've done it before on the show, and it is so funny. It's just about crazy things you guys have like accidentally texted people, ways your phone has sabotaged you to death, which Katie was like, this has never happened to me.
It's never happened to me.
And because there's just so many ways technology can go wrong, like not just sending the wrong text to the wrong person, like airdropping stuff, like stuff pops up on, we'll get to it, but like, butt dials, all kinds of crazy stuff. And we just like wanted to do this with you because we love you and we
great.
know
That sounds very fun. I'm very sorry that for some reason my phone has never betrayed me.
Really?
I mean, I've betrayed myself on my phone.
I'm like, you're lying.
No, you're like, really? Not once, huh? I'm saying like, I'm usually to blame when something wrong is happening with my phone. Like if I've texted someone I shouldn't, that's on me. Like my phone didn't do it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay, but that's kind of the stuff we're talking about.
What do you?
You're right.
No, it's not. You sent the wrong text to the wrong person.
Have you done
right?
that?
Never. That's what I'm saying.
Never.
I don't understand how you've done this.
Katie's just perfect.
No, you guys. I just like, I'm usually at fault for like being like, hey, like I'm making a bad choice.
Yeah.
It's not my technology.
Well, that's okay. Anyway.
So
maybe I don't understand the game. Okay.
I'll explain to you what happened last night. So I was talking to a friend of mine who works at Barstool Sports.
Sure.
Who, if you guys don't know what that is, very, very masculine place.
It's Salesforce.
It's Salesforce with like more testosterone. Yeah. So I have a very good friend that works there. His name starts with the same letter as my man's name. And I was talking to both of them at the same time. And my friend that works at Barstool was talking to me about a situation he's having with a former relationship, and that it's tough, and he's complaining to me about it. Just asking me for advice. I'm talking to him, and I'm talking to my man a little bit. He's busy, whatever. So I sent my man a text, and I said, God, guys, don't make fun of me. It's so embarrassing. I wish I could snuggle up to you. I'd love to be on the couch with you right now. And he doesn't respond for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
So I go back on my phone. I open up my text with him, and I'm like, oh, he hasn't. I see what happened here. I didn't send him the text. And I immediately start panicking. I'm like, who did I send this to? And I send it to my friend at Barstool in response to him telling me like how upset he is about his like past relationship. He's like asking me for advice and talking shit and telling me like the distress he's going through. And I wrote, I wish I could snuggle up to you. I'd love for you to be on the couch with me.
But did he reply?
So he doesn't respond for like 40 minutes. And then I wrote back and I said, oh my God, I meant to send that to my man. Never tell anyone I act this ridiculous. I was sitting here like, why the fuck didn't you text me back? And he wrote back, I really was like, damn, she's really enjoying this conversation.
Isn't that weird though? Like this person you've been friends with, you think they're like hitting on you, they're shooting their shot. You're like, what do I say?
But I'm surprised he didn't come back with like an invitation.
I think
I'm so worried that he would have.
No, earlier in the conversation, he told me that he was dating somebody. He has like a new girl. And so like, we've already gone over. He's dating somebody. He's telling me about this past relationship. And I'm like, just come over. I want to snuggle with you. And he probably was looking at the phone like,
what should I do? Maybe he was like,
was
he like with his new girlfriend at the time physically? Maybe he had just had like Indian food and he was like feeling farty or like, you know what I mean?
I don't know what happened.
Maybe he's not into you because you're not into him.
Maybe he's not really that into me. I mean, we have a platonic, I'm attracted to him. I think he's great. But it was so embarrassing. And his response was also like pretty cool. And it opened up this like conversation where we were talking about how like you can have these like really fiery relationships with people that are like sexy and hot, but like you got to like send those texts every once in a while. And he said he accidentally sent a text to his brother that said, waking up without you in my bed just isn't the same.
No. Oh my God. If I said that to my brother,
I said that to your brother.
You could send that to my brother.
And Ashley knows this guy's brother, so you know he got like lit up so hard. So that's what happened to me last night. I was laughing so hard. It actually spiraled into like a great conversation with him. Whatever. But it was so embarrassing. I was like, I can't fucking believe. Also, I don't know that people think of me as like really cheesy, like I just want to snuggle.
No, that was
kind of person.
Like,
so I was like, I can't believe he saw this side of me. This is so humiliating.
Yeah, when you utter the word snuggle, you're like it's a different level. But Katie, you're right. This isn't fuck my phone. It is fuck myself. Like you did this. Raina's phone didn't do this. So you're right.
You did that.
That's the name of the game, but it's more like fuck my life.
Yeah, fuck my life. And I had to like back it up by being like, listen, I have a filthy whore mouth. I promise. I'm like, why am I telling you this? So our listeners submitted a bunch of stuff. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. Okay. She says, I'm visiting my parents for the first time in a while, and my mom just told me that my ex accidentally FaceTimed her a couple months ago when she forgot to tell me. I was immediately annoyed because he is the type to accidentally do something like that, but then she told me the whole story. So my mom was just sitting on the couch and heard her phone start ringing, so she got up and noticed it was my ex FaceTiming her. Super random, but she answered, and she could hear him talking and other voices, but couldn't see anything. So she says super loudly, why the fuck are you FaceTiming me? Then it goes completely silent. He pulls his phone from his pocket and she realizes he's in the middle of teaching. He's a 7th grade teacher and his students definitely heard it. She said he got super nervous and apologized and then turned the camera to his class. Like, well, these are my students. I just know he was mortified and now I love my mom even more.
That's great.
It's the fact that her mom said, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And these 12-year-olds are like, what?
Even the best day they ever had in class.
I like that. That's funny.
He's like, say hi to my exes.
But that, just so we're clear, that person had a technological issue. That was the phone. Yeah.
I love the Katie.
Just to be clear, I did this to myself. Just so you guys know, I told my very platonic friend I want to snuggle him on the couch.
You're right. Katie's really just making me rethink the whole game. There is a difference. It's did your technology really do this, or are you just
or should you not be allowed to have a phone?
True. Are you a boomer?
Yeah, I should not be allowed. Okay, next email. My divorce had recently been finalized and I had started seeing someone I knew from high school. We went to a mutual friend's wedding together, and after the night, I tried to post a picture on Instagram from the wedding and tried to tag my wedding date and somehow accidentally tagged my ex-husband since he was in a recent tag list, which caused a huge fight. Katie, can you imagine tagging your ex-husband
in your new man's photo?
No.
What a nag. Yeah. I would just leave it.
Yeah.
The savagery of being with somebody new and tagging your ex as that person.
It's kind of great.
So...
it's kind of great. Yes. I'm like very into it, actually.
I feel like my new goal is to only date people that would think that was funny.
No, that's
like
funny.
If I tagged my ex in our new photo together.
Okay, this next one feels like something I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. So she says, a big crush of mine and I planned a weekend together where he would visit me in Tallahassee, which is Tallahassee. Okay. That tracks. And we had a long night doing the thing. The morning after, he went to take a shower. And while he was in there, I got so excited and wanted to text my best friend about him. I sent I just got laid, all caps. And as soon as I pressed send, my heart dropped to the floor. I did not send it to my friend. I sent it to him. I was horrified. I've never done this before. I was hoping the shower door was open so I could sneak in there and try to grab the phone, but it wasn't. So all I could do was wait and deeply apologize for it when he got out. This is a visual we need to picture. She says, when he walked in, I had a pillow in my face and I was screaming, I'm sorry. Nevertheless, he was cool about it. And we spent the day at a lake in the good old Florida weather. God, I feel like we've all come so close to doing that.
Yes. Like talking about
everybody.
Yes.
This game is actually, I think it's inspired. I texted Ashley something that this guy said to me once, like about us, but it wasn't funny, so I punched up his joke and sent it back to him. To send it to Ashley.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it was embarrassing.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. You stand there like staring at the phone like I'm gonna die.
Because you're like, not only did I send the wrong text, but he knows I don't think he's funny.
But just to be true. But just to be clear, the woman who took the guy was in the shower. They just slept together all weekend. Like, I just got laid is like the best version of that.
Yes.
No, there is a whole conspiracy that guys send those accidental texts about you, but on purpose as like a tactic to like make you think they're like endearing. Like it's like they're like running game. It's a thing that they would send a text about like, oh, I just had the best time with this girl. I really like this girl. And then being like, oh, sorry, that wasn't meant for you. Like,
are guys out here doing
that a thing?
I've heard it's a thing.
Of course they would.
Because then you think
you
think it's so endearing that they like could mess up and that they like you so much, which at the end of the day, they should just say like, hey, I like you. You're amazing. But like, there's a whole thing of like that mistaked text message of like, I really like this girl. Like it could be fake.
Ew,
that's
be so
gross.
Cringy
I know.
If I did that. Ew.
I thought I was like thinking like that someone was going to get really graphic and she was going to be like, this guy's dick is everything. Like, I just thought she was going to say something more graphic about her sex weekend.
I know. You're right. That seems like something you would do, Raina. Like,
yeah.
I feel like Raina would send
the
dick pic back to the guy by accident.
100%. I'm constantly texting on my computer.
No,
which you gotta like
danger.
Sometimes in the list is like our business manager and my man and Ashley, and I'm like double checking, triple checking who I'm sexting with. Yeah, I just the moral of the story is don't iMessage on your computer. A tweet we got. Listening to Girls Gotta Eat and writing an email and accidentally typed, can we share another account's LinkedIn bush on our profile instead of post resigning?
So she tweeted, she sent out an email, can we share this LinkedIn bush? And I wrote, did you actually send it? And she said, unfortunately, yes. I said, looks like you have to update your LinkedIn bush.
Very good. Very good. Very funny.
Okay, this last email... It's my favorite. I love it.
You want to read it?
No, I want you to read it. I want to bask in his email.
We're going to end on a bang. I met this guy online who had just moved to Toronto from LA and didn't have a local phone number yet, so we exchanged WhatsApp accounts. Things got heated one night and we started sexting, and then the inevitable dick pic came. When I say this is the biggest dick I've ever seen, I'm not exaggerating. The size of his forearm plus some, and he was 6'3", literally 10 plus inches. Anyway, it could have been fake. He could have got on the internet, but anyway, maybe it was real.
Ashley and I have had situations.
We're skeptical. Anyway, the next day I had a group presentation for a college class. I plugged my laptop into the projector and opened my WhatsApp to get the presentation link from our group chat. And what conversation does my WhatsApp default open to? 120 classmates and a professor sit staring into the soul of this ginormous, stiff motherfucking dick that spanned an entire fucking lecture room, movie theater sized projector screen.
No. That's the stuff.
You have to leave college.
Yeah, that's the stuff. You gotta go.
My favorite of all of them.
And you're like, so for my next slide,
like,
what are you trying to play it off?
What am I there? I'm trying to think of a show where this guy had porn on the computer and then this is way to kill it, Katie. Yeah.
Is it Wayne's World? Wait, Katie, you haven't quoted Wayne's World the whole show, have you?
Katie's gonna fall off the chair.
I still tag you sometimes when I do like a reference, like, because I'm just like, no one gets it, and also you guys like don't even care about it. But I'm like, no, right, guys.
One of the best memes was the like that came back into the mainstream was them with their passes saying like me when I get my Vax card, and it was Wayne and Garth walking like with their passes.
Oh, I didn't even see that we have reemerged into relevant pop culture. Shit, I've missed my opportunity.
Man, I gotta tell you, and Ashley doesn't know this story. I mean, it's like a 2-second thing, but it is a fuck my phone sort of. Every time when I go back to Pittsburgh, which is where I was last weekend, I have a night where I get like very banged up with my dad, Michael, John, and my Aunt Sherry. Super drunk. It's just I can barely walk by the end of it. And I was showing them pictures of the guy that I'm seeing, and my aunt was like, let me see all your photos. And so I keep very few photos on my phone, like a couple photos of him, some funny stuff of me and Ashley, and a couple of naked photos.
Sure.
And I'm like swiping through, I'm showing her some photos, and she's like, my aunt is 73 years old. And she's like, that's cute, that's cute. And I scrolled over, I'm so hammered drunk, to a photo of me miming masturbating in front of my 73-year-old aunt, and I fell to the ground. I just grabbed my phone and ducked.
She was like, what's that?
What are you doing?
What did she say?
She was like, I saw it.
Oh, no. No, see, now I'm dead inside.
She's like your mom. She's cool.
She's cool. It's not like my own mom seeing it. It's like if Ashley's mom or my aunt.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like if my mom saw one of my nudes, she'd be like, oh, wow, sweetie. Like it was, she would be like,
go.
I would get a talk too. Like still, I would get a major talk too. Also, my assistants have been a present theme throughout this whole thing. They are in my phone quite often, and a lot of times my phone will just do me. Oh my God! Did we do it? We got there. Okay, we got there. My phone. Yeah, fuck my phone, you guys. It will bring you back to the top of the camera roll where I was illegal with my nudes and like everything. And so sometimes like it'll be like, hey, like supersize the look, Jessica Alba, and then it's like a full like. I can't say.
What's your go-to pose? Tell us the pose.
But wait, are you saying they saw them?
What'd you guys see?
We'll never know because
she saw it.
Yes. No, she.
What were you doing in the nude? Tell us.
I don't know. Because there's videos too.
Oh my gosh.
There's videos.
You watched a video of Katie?
No.
You can talk, Katie.
No, she can't. No, I know. I'm scared. I know. No, you guys, I'm so nice to them. It's really. I bought them Levain cookies at like 10 a.m. today. Like we're having a great time.
Okay.
We're having a great time.
But I'm just saying.
But your staff watched you masturbate. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's very.
We got there.
Yes. Yeah.
My story that I've told on the podcast, but for you is, and if anybody hasn't caught it, my situation with my ex happened. It was pretty traumatic, and he had sent me a text that said like, I never meant to hurt you, something along those lines. And then 2 weeks later, I was going in there to see something that he had said, and I accidentally thumbs down to that text. Just thumbs down. 2 weeks later, never meant to hurt you.
And then did he reply?
Immediately.
What did he say?
He said, do you want to talk on the phone? I was like, I didn't mean to do that. I hate myself.
Did you talk on the phone then?
It's a whole thing. It's
you like kind of got back together for a minute?
No. He was not with, he was with someone else. But
we'll tell you dinner.
I sent him an email, but it was like I had been writing this email, and that's why I was in the text to reference something, and instead I was like,
but like, but is there anything really else to say other than thumbs down?
It was perfect.
Yeah.
But I was like, he must have been holding his phone. Because I did undo it, and he must have his phone must have been in his hand.
Oh,
because it was immediate.
Okay.
He responded back, but anyway, that was my story. And sometimes people message me, and they're like, "Thumbs down."
So funny. I love a thumbs down.
Okay, Katie, we love you so much.
We have to stop.
We're hungry. We're gonna go to dinner.
Okay.
The theme of this podcast is we'll tell you at dinner.
The theme of this is torture your assistants, which I literally don't. I'm very nice to them.
No, just so you know, Katie turned around and looked at them. She's like, just so you guys know, I'm nice to you.
They're mouthing words.
They're literally like H-E-L-P.
We don't care. Yeah. They're like, Katie will hit us.
But I have to tell you something. I have to ask you one question. Is your phone, like your GGE phone case, is it intentionally cracked as like a you guys had a rough night?
Shattered
Ashley
look.
has a long history with her phone. I keep trying to get her to get a new one.
Raina, let me ask you this as best friends. Do you think one of my quirks is that I say I need to get a new phone for a year before I do it?
It's a very interesting thing about you because like you're always like, I worked my whole life like to have a comfortable life, like spend the money. And I'm like the most I am like so cheap. I'm like, I sit and coach in the middle seat now. But I always get the first phone. And for a year, you have always been like, you have a better phone. Like I like your camera better.
It doesn't make any sense. I need a new phone.
Well, people get weird. People get weird about phones. I don't know.
I'm not weird about it. I don't know what to spend money.
I'm just saying that maybe you get like, you're lazy about it.
It's late. Yes.
You could go on Verizon.com and just click like, I want a new phone. It would be there the next day.
But then who's going to set it up?
Transfer from my iCloud.
Yes.
No, you don't.
What?
They do it for you.
Okay, fine. I'll do it.
Girl, you literally go on Verizon. Hot tip, guys. Just go on VerizonWireless.com. Just buy the new phone. They send it to you
if
ready
you have
to
Verizon,
roll.
but I do.
Yeah, I have Sprint. Oh God, I think you guys have made fun of me before for having Sprint.
Do you have Sprint?
Yeah,
Where's your
see,
phone?
it just happened. It's over there.
What
Don't
the
do
If
it
your
out.
phone works, who cares?
Yeah, it's
We're not
okay.
here provider shaming.
Katie's
Okay,
like,
we gotta
we're
go
gonna
to
cut this,
dinner.
yeah.
All right, let's
we're gonna
go.
to dinner. Well, Katie, you're amazing. We love you. We loved having you back. Tell everybody where they can find you, the book, where they can find Mega Babe, your Instagram, everything.
Mega Babe is available at Target and Ulta and our website. My book is on Amazon, Target, small bookstores everywhere. And you can follow me at Katie Sturino on the Instagram.
Okay.
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, we loved having you here. Thank you for being here.
Yes, again, well, this is our new podcast now, just the three of us. And you guys know where to find us. girlsgottaeatpodcast.com, Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram. I'm Ash Hess on Instagram. Raina's Raina.Greenberg, girls_gotta eat on Twitter, and youtube.com/girlsgottaeat. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Bye.